How do I stop this?
I don't think you can.
This is the Long Hop Cricket Podcast.
Can you play that?
I don't know if they heard it. Nah, who cares?
Okay.
Anyway, this is the Long Hop Cricket Podcast.
Oh, we don't put stuff out anymore.
And in a week where there's been crazy things happening in cricket, England get bowled out for a measly 58.
Not their worst total ever,
KP retires.
Not big news.
We've got the Cheetah-roos on the go.
Yeah.
But more importantly, the Long Hop Cricket Podcast are bringing out 3 podcasts in 1 week.
It's like quick fire, isn't it?
It's just like
it's when you just hold the trigger down.
It's like a hat trick. 3
sort of.
is the magic number.
In one game. We've had one game. We're going to release 3 podcasts.
And we're going on holiday.
I'm excited for it.
We're taking the podcast on holiday.
Yeah, we're going on the road. You get to listen to a podcast after we've come back.
Anyway, there's lots of things to talk about, but we're not going to.
Yeah. Should we lay out what we're going to do? Because
so today's podcast...
there's obviously massive news we need to address.
Massive. It's so big. Cheetah-roos.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so big, we feel like we can't do a 4-hour podcast.
And I think, at the moment, there's going to be a few little jewels pop out in the next couple of days.
Oh, you think we don't want to go too early on it?
No, you don't want to waste this podder, do you?
So we're going to do...
today...
We're covering the test match.
The first test
match.
New Zealand versus England. And then maybe on Thursday, I'll release it. So we'll get together either Wednesday or Thursday.
Right, because...
You're nodding into this because you're away on the weekend.
Yes.
Stag. You've been on so many stags on this podcast.
Yeah. Listen, well, it's just popular, aren't I suppose?
And you've been the best man to both of them.
Yeah. No, I'm a
if
good
that doesn't
guy.
tell you that this is a man to trust, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, it's just a height of a good human, isn't it, really? I do need to write speeches, though. I like delivering them.
What?
I don't like writing them.
Yeah, no. So the dog's gone a bit crazy just because she's heard the news is 3 in 1 week.
There you go. She's buzzing for it.
Where were we? So we're smashing out the first podcast tonight.
We actually already have. We have another. The third podcast is already recorded, but
very true.
For some reason, hasn't been put out.
So expect the Steve Smith, Bancroft, Cheetah-roos podcast.
Well, the whole nation, and the whole nation,
and I imagine
the country itself, the cricket team,
even the Prime Minister's come out and said something. The Australian Prime Minister,
right? But let's not get into it because we.
I imagine there'll be a few more little,
putting
little
sugar
nuggets
in your pocket
to come out. Oh, a few more little bends of the truth and a few
they
more clues.
They didn't win the Ashes after all.
That will come out Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Thursday. Probably get together on Wednesday.
Probably
Friday. And then Sunday, while the second test is going on, we've recorded a podcast talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Peterson.
That was more your thing. You wanted to do that.
And his retirement. Because I thought, let's get it out, make it relevant. But hey.
It's kind of been made irrelevant now, even though it was before. But
when we released podcasts, they are never irrelevant.
You're right. Should we get into this one, mate?
They are always relevant.
What are we going to do? People want world news, but I feel it's so dominated and we want to cover it in a whole podcast. I think we'll leave it.
I think what we can say is South Africa have won that series 2-1.
Yes. And
Australia
didn't
bail on, because there was a lot of chat about Australia saying, Australia coming out and declaring on 0-0 and losing the test match on that morning.
They want to do that because they were getting battered anyway.
But they didn't do that. They went on,
which is good.
They got battered. So that's a bit of world news. There's also been some qualifiers, which I just haven't kept up with.
I know that Ireland
women
got knocked out. Ireland didn't make it. Afghanistan beat them.
And England's women won their T20 yesterday against India, I believe. And they chased the record.
Whoa.
I think it was 180.
Fair play.
Big score to chase.
That was a big score.
Anyway, that was world news.
There you go. Into the test match. First test match. England versus New Zealand. How much threat did you think New Zealand were? Test style.
I tell you what, I think New Zealand are always a threat. But if England are going to win a test series away, it should be in New Zealand.
Yes, good point.
Or that's the best opportunity for England.
It's as close to home conditions as we get, isn't it? Touring.
And with no disregard respect to New Zealand, they're a very good side, but they're probably one of the weaker sides in world cricket at the moment. And what does that say about England at the moment? Probably even weaker. But I think if England are going to go and win away, which they found difficult in the last 2-3 years, then New Zealand would be a place where you would probably think England's got the best chances to win away. I do want to think we should run through the teams first. Yeah. Because
it's the start of a series, isn't it? You've got to go through the teams.
I'm annoyed.
You're annoyed at England's selection, I would imagine.
I just think... Right.
Fill us in.
So, I'm running through my app right now.
Let's have a gander. Is it... I'm guessing it's the batting lineup you're slightly annoyed with.
Oh, it's the whole thing.
Okay, all right.
And what? Just a word of warning. I'm going to criticise the bowlers. I'm not saying
the selection.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously England, the batting let them down massively in this game, and it's probably a little bit unfair that I'm going after the bowlers. I'm not saying that England's selection meant that England were going to get bowled out for 50 odd.
Right.
I'm not saying today's selection was that reason. Getting bowled out for 50, like we'll go on to, is a freak thing. But it shouldn't happen. But it's a freak thing.
But it does. Happens to every team. But we'll get onto that.
England are susceptible to collapses during an innings, aren't they?
Yes.
So anyway, let's have a look at this England team.
Let's have a look at the team.
So Cookie and Stoneman open up.
I like that. I feel comfortable. That's a good thing.
Joe Root comes in at number 3.
We like that. We've been calling for that for a long time. So this is all good so far.
So Vince is dropped.
Yeah.
Milan comes in at 4 and Ben Stokes fills Vince's space but will bat 5.
Yes.
Now bear in mind Ben Stokes is not cleared to bowl. He will not be bowling in this game due to injury.
Okay.
So they've picked him
He's
purely as a batsman.
Yeah, which he pretty much does anyway. But
Johnny Bairstow 6, Moeen Ali 7. Now you got the bowlers. Wokes 8, Overton 9, Broad 10 and Jimmy 11.
Okay.
Now.
What's your
Are you telling that was a very similar side to that went out to Australia, right? That watched us lose 4-0.
Apart from Ben Stokes, isn't it?
Now, are you telling me that Ben Stokes' batting alone would have stopped us losing 4-0 in Australia?
I think had the ball been a normal one, we wouldn't have got battered 4-0.
Well,
had they not sugar-coated the ball...
Apparently they were using one of them wind balls, one half tennis ball, one half a wind ball.
Swinking.
Anyway. Are you telling me that Ben Stokes' batting alone would have not only saved us from 4-0 defeat, but we would have won in Australia?
No.
So did we not learn anything in Australia that this team, going away from home, we need to start building? You blatantly came out and said...
Blatantly? It's on a podcast, so yeah.
I actually don't want... I mean, this was a really powerful thing you said.
Right, nice.
Strong opinion.
Thanks.
I don't want international cricket for the next year. I just want them to go away and play
the
their
summer.
counties.
Said the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
from now. Yeah.
Almost a year then, if you
like.
So you were so upset, if you like, with England's performances in the last year or so.
Yeah.
Especially away from home, that you said we need to effectively start again.
Yes.
Does that look like a team that started again?
Well, no, but obviously what I said they're never going to do.
No, but you, and I backed up with you, said this, there needs to be change in that England team. There is no change.
No.
Apart from bringing Ben Stokes in for Vince. And Ben Stokes is a better batsman than
where
Vince.
we want.
But that team, I know they got bowled out for 50 odd and we'll get onto that, but that team, before a ball was bowled, this team is not good enough to go to India, to go to Australia, even to go to New Zealand or South Africa or Sri Lanka. This team wouldn't win in any of those places. This team's not good enough. There are members in that team that have shown that this team is kind of stagnant. It's not even getting you draws. It's getting you losses. There are no players in there that will go out and win you a game.
Having said that, valid point. Don't know what England can do in the space they've had to come out with a different team and expect them to do any better. Do you know what I'm saying?
But then at least you know that the team that you have sent out didn't work. At least you know that.
So you're annoyed that they haven't even tried to do anything?
It's just like...
See, I would say they have. I would say they have tried to change something. Joe Root's now back where he should be.
But that's only because no one else is going to bat there.
But it doesn't matter.
Right, okay, fair enough.
Joe Root is
fair
now
enough.
batting at 3, and we both agree he has to bat at 3. It's his position. That's where he should be batting.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
So David Milan is batting at 4.
Which is
okay.
I like Milan.
But now Johnny Bairstow's batting at 6, which is too low, but he's not batting at 7, and Moeen Ali isn't batting at 8, which is ridiculous.
Right, okay, fair enough.
So Moeen Ali's now batting at 7, which is still silly, but it's better.
It's silly that he's in the team.
Why Craig Overton's been picked, I don't know.
Because he had a good Ashes when...
He didn't have a good Ashes.
He had an okay Ashes. I'm not backing Craig Overton. I've signed him on cricket captain, but I'm not backing him.
I think he is like a nibbly... I'll tell you what they think he is.
He's perfect for the county season. He's not perfect to go to India.
Well, no, but they're picking him for New Zealand, which we've said is as close to England.
Yeah.
So that's why they're picking him.
No,
they think he's like this. I think the England Cricket Board think he's like the second coming of Graham Onions.
Do you know what I mean? Had a bit of pace though.
Graham Onions did nothing.
He had more pace than Overton.
I don't think he did, mate.
The late 70s.
No, Graham Onions had a quicker bouncer that was like 82. Seriously, Graham Onions wasn't quick. He was like a nibbly stump-to-stump bowler.
I just think we've got 5 bowlers in there, right? 4 pacemen. No, we've got...
Graham Onions, what a forgotten man. You know how we say we want varied bowling attack? Think of that. He was part of that incredible team. Yeah. He was like a bowler we could just go to. Like, a little nibbler, a little seamer that'll do something.
I just think, look, there's 5 pacemen, right, including Stokes. They bowl all of the same. Right arm...
But Stokes can't bowl,
over.
So that's one less.
Yeah. Right arm over. So there's 4 pacemen there. Right arm over, in between 78 and 84.
So would you be would you be happier them picking Willie instead of Overton just to have a left arm bowler?
Yeah, I would be.
Interesting.
And
I can't say I'd be too annoyed because I think it's like I think there's 2. I think we're playing with 9 men at the moment.
Exactly, and we'll get on to Moeen Ali. I just want to talk about the paceman at the moment. I think Wokes, Overton, Broad and Anderson all bowl pretty much the same thing.
Overton's slower.
But then it's the same top of off, right? Which is, obviously that's the game. But when they had Tom Curran...
I don't know, a change of pace is something different, isn't it? He is giving you something different.
A change in... Imagine bringing in a Chris Tremlett bowler. That's something different. Might be the same pace, but that's a different role. These guys don't have different roles. They all do the same.
Yeah.
They all bowl in the same fashion, and they all bowl a very similar pace. Maybe Overton being the slowest. Being the slowest isn't a positive to get you in the team. That isn't the saving grace. But he's different.
If you were watching him, you'd be like, well, he is something different. He doesn't bowl
he's worse.
80, 84.
Yeah, he's worse.
Yeah, but who are you going to... Who do you want? You want Willie because he's left-handed?
No, I'm not even saying I want Willie.
No, I know, but it's like... Who,
but that is somebody. That is an idea, yeah.
So
Ryan Sidebottom, I'd rather have him.
He doesn't play anymore.
That's what I'm telling you.
who would you have then?
Right, okay. They need pace in there, right? You go and find a pace bowler. Whether that's Plunkett, Wood, can't stay fit.
But you want Wood, ideally.
Ideally, would want
for
Wood.
A bit of extra pace.
If he can stay fit.
Then,
right?
You're all right with that bowling attack?
No.
Okay.
Why we need... I think Overton can completely sacked off that. Okay, Ben Stokes needs to be fit, right? He needs to bowl and be fit.
When was the last time Stuart Broad bowled well?
They took him off the new ball.
Yeah, I
we'll
think
get on
he's
to that.
Getting close to having his day.
Let's get on to off the new ball and talk about Stuart Broad in a minute, right?
Okay.
We don't need... Okay, Ben Stokes isn't bowling, right? But I still don't think we need 4 pace bowlers. I think you need 3 top quality pace bowlers, just like England did after they had Freddie Flintoff.
Yeah.
Those 2011, 2012 Ashes, you saw 3 generally, and Graham Swan. Now we have got a problem. We haven't got a spinner.
Yeah.
We found out we haven't got a spinner.
Yeah, we know that.
Moeen Ali's a good ODI bowler, just like Adil Rashid. Let's not queue him up anymore.
Yeah.
Let's not continue that. We found out they're good ODI players, T20 players. They are not Test players. With the ball, Moeen Ali should be looked in a different light, just purely as a batsman. They've got a spinner out there because Crane was injured.
Yeah. So
they brought out Leach, and he's thrown them down there, right? It's like, what are you doing? We found out that these bowlers don't work.
I think had they swapped Mo and Ali for Leach,
That's a massive improvement.
it is a massive improvement. But with the squad they have, I can't see them doing much more than what they've done, apart from that change.
Right, okay then. So Leach out, right? So you don't have a batsman. Why can't you take out Overton? Who, if Overton's not going to do it, I don't know if Wokes is. You know, I mean, if Wokes is not going to do it, is Overton going to do it? Take out Overton, right, and put in a keeper. Let Johnny Bairstow bat 5.
Yeah, but we've said this before. That solves loads of problems.
So
that's a much better team.
I think, right, we're overcompensating, right? We're having those 4 bowlers, and when Ben Stokes becomes fit, if they go with 5 pace bowlers and a spinner, I will scream.
Right. I mean,
they're overcompensating because everyone's crap.
Yeah,
they are. They're saying, well,
we've gone to this thing of like we desperately don't want a tail, and it's like formed into the biggest tail you've ever seen in your life.
It's this worry that none of the bowlers will do it, so they need to keep on packing out the bowling.
Like Mo and Ali is no longer a batsman. Like he doesn't bat well enough to suggest he's a batsman anymore. So now you've got 5 rabbits there. You got 5 rabbits.
Well, I think Wokes and Overton.
How is Wokes batting lower than Mo and Ali?
Well,
I know I said it's good he's moved up.
Mo and Ali's in the team.
Right.
I've got nothing against Mo and Ali. I actually really like Mo and Ali as a player. But I think I've said this time and time again.
He's been the ODI team.
He's an ODI player. He could be a test player, but England are treating him wrongly. He's on a slippery slope. Things aren't going to get better for him.
I just don't know what he has to do to get dropped.
I feel like an Arsenal fan. It's time to go. Do you know what I mean? It's time for a change. It's time to go.
Well, Can we get rid of our coach as well?
Yeah, no, I'm up for that.
We know what they do.
It's time to get Lehman in. At least he brings in cheating. You know what I mean? Fuck me.
Okay.
Before we move on, Owen, I just want to talk about that batting as well. That batting lineup. You up for that?
Yeah.
If you get Alistair Cook and Joe Root out, who's going to make the runs?
I like Stoneman. I've got no problem with that.
Yeah, but is he? I like Stoneman.
Well, I think we've actually nearly solved the opener problem, which we've had for a very long time. Not yet, but he's not doing bad enough to suggest
he's not getting dropped. No, but was Alex Hales getting dropped? When he
wasn't doing particularly well.
But he got 280s, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think Stoneman's probably in better form.
Stoneman's got 450s, I think, in his career. Yeah. And I'm not saying
he hasn't been playing for that long.
But I'm not saying that. No, I like Stoneman, but I'm not saying that he doesn't fill me with the utmost of confidence.
But we don't have a world class opener.
No, we don't.
So
we do.
He's
Marcus just got it.
No, I'm happy with it. That top 3. I don't know what more we can do.
Yeah, I like
with
the top
what
3.
We've got.
And do you know what? David Milan is in the same boat as Mark Stoneman. He's done well.
Yeah,
he hasn't gone on and made massive. Milan has got 100, but
like we said, you bring in a wiki, that sorts our batting problem out.
Let Johnny Bairstow bat 5 or even 4.
Yeah.
Let Milan bat 5, Stokes 6.
Yeah, and then have a wicket keeper
7, and then you've got
and have a spinner.
Stokes needs to be able to bowl, I think, and I just think this team is ridiculous. If you would tell me that this team would win the Ashes, that's why we've got them out there, because we've got to prepare for those big series.
Yeah.
We should be preparing for the future now. This should be, I hate to say it because everyone says it after a bad defeat or a bad World Cup or a bad tournament. We need to start again. But I think we actually do. Cause I think
we've had a lot of battering. We got battered in India. That wasn't even competitive in India. We got absolutely hammered.
I think we've lost we haven't won the last 12 away games.
We got absolutely, it was embarrassing. In India, we got smashed.
Was embarrassing.
In Australia, we got hammered. Absolutely embarrassed.
Bangladesh, it was 1-1.
Smashed this as well.
When we go back to Sri Lanka next, or wherever, I think it's Sri Lanka, in October or whenever, we're not going to win there. You're not even playing a spinner.
Yeah.
Now, this pitch did turn towards the end, but I'm not saying that New Zealand's known as I don't care. If you're going to play a spinner, then play a proper spinner. If you're not, then be ballsy and say we'll go with an extra pacer or an extra batsman. But if you're going to play a spinner in a place where spin isn't necessarily key, then play a proper spinner. Just get overs under his belt. If that's Crane, that's Crane. I think it should be Leach, but at least play a spinner.
Yeah, I think we're just flogging a dead horse here. We did a whole podcast on this.
I'm so upset with that team.
I'm quite happy because I just know they're not. But look, that's a big change for them. They don't do anything. If you're not dropping Mo and Ali now,
but they were
then
forced
moving
into
Joe
that
Root
change.
to 3 is a big change.
They were literally forced into it. That's not off their own back putting Joe Root 3.
No,
they were forced into that because there was no Vince, because Stokes came in. No, I'm fine with them being no Vince, but I'm not giving England, Trevor Bayliss, Joe Root any credit. I think no, that's
well,
ridiculous.
they can't get any after the
No,
defeat,
that's ridiculous. Oh, 20 minutes in, I haven't talked about the game.
Yeah, I was going to say
ridiculous.
we need to get on.
Right,
to,
should we just have a quick run through the New Zealand team. Your mate's not in there, Guptill. After you were saying he's the best ever ODI player out.
Well,
best.
I never. No,
You said it over across all formats.
I said he's the most underrated.
You said that he would be in your opening partnership and across all formats. Don't even play.
Yeah,
me.
if you had to play every format
You don't play
with one
tests.
team, he would be my opener.
Tom Latham, Jeet Raval, I haven't heard of him before. Kane
No.
Williamson 3, Ross Taylor 4, Henry Nichols 5. The keeper's Watling. Colin de Grandhomme comes in at 7. The spinner Astle 8. Southey, Wagner and Bolt. I'll tell you what, Southey, Wagner and Bolt, those three are a better bowling lineup than ours.
How old is Southey now? He's been around for quite a while.
But those three, Wagner, Bolt and Southey, that's better than
It's a good bowling attack.
Wokes, Broad and Anderson,
It's a
in
good
my
bowling
opinion.
attack. You want quality over
incredible bowling
quantity.
attack.
3 good pace bowlers.
And then they've got Grandhomme to throw it.
Yeah, you got something a little bit
he's
nibbly, and you got a spinner. Yeah.
That's such a better lineup than England. That really
Should we
is.
get to the game?
Ugh.
Let's get to the game. Who won the toss? Who won the toss?
New Zealand won the toss and decided to field first.
Okay.
And bear in mind, this is a day-night game.
Yeah.
So a little pink ball.
Okay. I mean, it's not any smaller, is it? The ball.
No. At least someone didn't get sandpaper out on this one.
I mean, it might be smaller by our first innings.
England bowled out for a measly 58.
Yeah.
What's
you have to
happened
go
there,
along.
then?
You have to go a long way back for us to have done worse. I think it's before World War Two.
No, it's 1880 something.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Well,
We got
that's
bowled out
before
for
World War Two.
Yeah, very true.
So
England almost, when they were 27 for 9, they were very close to having the new English record for lowest score, test score.
yeah,
27 for 9.
we didn't bat
That's
more
just because
than 21
Overton made
overs.
runs.
We got all out in 21 overs.
Yeah. For 57. 58, sorry. What's going on there then, Owen?
I think this. I mean, you can have a go. If this is like easy pickings to have a go in it. I mean, you don't get any easier.
Well, they're sitting ducks, aren't they?
Yeah.
Quite literally, some of them are ducks.
But the thing is I think this can happen to any team.
Yeah, it can.
And especially
It can.
as we're not in good form. We know we're not a great team at the moment.
Yep.
I think it's just like a perfect storm.
But what I don't understand is, I do understand it happens in cricket,
Yeah.
but like 58.
No, it's bad.
Steve Smith averages more than that.
Yeah, but if you think back to when we
Also
beat
cheats more.
Australia in England, when last
Yeah.
time we won the Ashes, we got them out for 58 in one of those games.
And I know
so it does
I
happen.
know it happens.
Does
right?
happen.
But it shouldn't, but it does. Do you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Happens in all formats of cricket.
England are
all
probably.
levels.
I think Graham Swan said that he's been in positions where he's done it to a team and the team's done it to him, his team.
Right.
And he says that once the wheels come off,
Yeah,
there's
I
no
know.
way of stopping it.
It gets in your head
It
when
just
you're going
runs
out.
through.
Yeah.
And, I think a few of the wickets, Bairstow's potentially, why is he going slapping it back at Southey?
I think the thing is, you got to have both, haven't you? But you got to have bowling well, good bowling, and you got to have bad batting for that to happen. You got to have just the perfect storm of both.
What I also want to say, you've summed that up really well, but it wasn't hooping around corners. There was a bit of nip there.
No.
But it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't 10:30 in the morning.
No, it's bad batting. You got to bat badly and you got to bowl well.
Bolt with 6 for 32, Southey 4 for 25.
That's all right, isn't it?
Just 2 bowlers used.
Yeah, boy. Well, we got out in 21 overs. The ball probably didn't have a mark on it. Probably
Would have Bancroft was
well,
playing.
probably left some marks, some stump marks on him or something. But
So 50. Now, I don't think, like I said, I don't think selection plays a part in a team being bowled out for 58 because those players are all better. That's a better team that should
yeah,
get.
come on, 58. It happens, doesn't it? It happens.
Do you think England might be scarred from going into the next game?
No.
Is this something you can shrug
No,
off?
I don't think that's like something that wobbles you too badly. It's just, it's like you said, it's a freak. If it happens again, we need to start worrying.
Yeah, well,
if it happens in the next Test match, if we get out for under 100 in the next Test match, then there's real problems somewhere. But I think that's a freak innings, to be honest.
I'm already biting my nails about this team.
Fair play to New Zealand, though.
Yeah,
like
you've got to put it in the
because
right.
you could try and do something silly and get 120. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They piled it on.
So 427 for 8 declared.
Yeah.
With Williamson making a very good 102. Maybe should have been out earlier. With the what's that called? Well, you know when I think it was Wokes. Wokes was adamant that Williamson played it. No, Williamson's partner played it back to Wokes, and Wokes says
he got a touch on it.
Got a touch on it, and it went back to hit the stumps.
Mm-hmm.
Now it went upstairs and nothing was. But Wokes was adamant that it happened. Now take that as you will, but you can call it a half-life if you like.
Right. But my question is, can we not use hotspot for that?
Oh, on the finger?
Yeah, on the ball. Because they got it set up at both ends.
Yeah.
Why can't you use hotspot to check if he's got a touch on the ball?
What about if it's already got a massive white mark all over it, and then the finger touches that white mark?
But why don't they try?
Well, maybe they have. Because you can't use the finger, can you? Because that will already be hot, right?
What do you mean? No, not the finger, the mark on the ball.
Yeah,
his finger will leave a mark on the ball.
The bat's already left a big mark on it.
Yeah, I know, but there's a chance that he's touched the bit the bat hasn't it, and then you know for certain.
At least there was no sandpaper out
there.
Yeah. But Nichols, who made a quite brilliant 145 not out, really piled on the pressure on England. And England lost it on that first morning, but there was no way back, even with the 2 days of rain.
They couldn't win it.
They couldn't
win it after the first innings, but New Zealand won it in their first innings.
Even with the 2 days of rain.
England couldn't win it after their first innings, but New Zealand secured victory.
Yeah. Oh, I think New Zealand pretty much won it in the first 20 overs of that game. I think
you can still recover, especially with the weather. The weather we had.
But even with two... Okay.
Because, like I said, if New Zealand have a little bit of a panic and you get them out for 120, you're right in it. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So you haven't... Your chances of winning are pretty much gone, but you could still get a result out of the game. But once New Zealand put on 400 and something, you're done.
So there's lots of starts from New Zealand players, but
that's fine.
The only two standout scores were Williams 102 and Nichols 145 not out, who batted well with a tail coming down the innings and obviously put on 427 for 8 declared. Look at the bowlers. Look at the overs. The bowl. Literally. Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad, should they be bowling 29, 34 overs each? Should they be the workhorses? Shouldn't they be the guys that come in for 3 or 4 overs and then surely Overton and Woke should be the workhorses, but I don't think England trust them.
Wokes has bowled 33 overs at 3.2.
And of course, it was 141 overs bowled in the game.
Yeah.
I suppose you're going to bowl like Moeen Ali 17. I don't know what to say. England never really had a sniff, did they? Okay, they got Raval out early, but after that, they never had a sniff.
No.
Even at 309 for 6, you're still you're 250 runs behind. Fantastic by New Zealand. They didn't let up, like you said.
Yeah.
They kept their foot on England's throat.
It's just keeping your head, isn't it?
Even with the 2 days of rain. So England had to pretty much bat out a day and a half, just over a day and a half.
I like that we showed a little bit of bottle here. Just a little bit of heart. We didn't get out for 120 and just be like, we lost it anyway. Which England do. Once England are losing, you just see them just throw it away. Just go, we'll just go on to the next one. At least they tried. They tried. It's a massive task, but they had a go.
So let's have a look at that second innings. Oh, did you want to... Anderson 3 for, Broad 3 for, Overton and Root 1 for 1 for. I did want to ask you before we move on, Broad not taking the new ball.
Right.
or there was talk about Broad not taking the new ball, but on here it says he's the second bowler. If Broad isn't going to take the new ball in the future,
right?
Is that a message from England cricket saying pull your socks up, or is that we don't see you as a new ball bowler anymore? I think it's a message saying pull your socks up.
Well, yeah, like I said, I think it's been a long time since he's bowled well. So,
Like, get your act together.
Possibly.
Right, let's move on to
or it could be to every other England bowler, but like, listen,
there's a
we know we need to find someone else at some point.
Though Jimmy Anderson's the next one to go, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, but it could be like just a thing of like it's gonna happen.
McGrath
Someone
and
show
Waugh
themselves
together.
What?
Ah.
The thing we needed to happen in this England's second innings is we need the man at the top of the order to get in.
And Cook
then you got a chance.
shuttles one down leg side and gets out.
We need Cook to get in. If he gets in, you got a chance because that guy can bat for days.
If Cook or Root don't make hundreds, this team isn't good. I don't rely on anyone else making runs.
I like Stoneman.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've got an attachment to him now.
And he made a good 55.
Yeah, it's a bit of heart there, showing a bit of something.
Joe Root made 51 and was
classic.
And got out just before the end of the day.
Yeah, good, perfect timing.
But he gets hit on the finger. I don't know. I didn't get to see what the diagnosis was. But maybe a broken finger.
Right.
The ball before, and then gets out the next ball, and that really put us back 3 wickets down.
Yes.
If Root was there, then you would have thought maybe we could have had a better chance. We would have definitely had a better chance of, because England only fell short by 18 overs to save the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good effort. Like I said, it's hard to take positives. We got smashed, but this second innings shows that we wanted to stay in the game.
Yeah,
we didn't just give it away. We had a real go at trying to save it.
I think
we had a real go at trying to save it.
Whether
we would have done had there not been weather, I don't know. I think I don't think we'd have showed anywhere near as much like we could have.
Oh, do you
we
think
could do that? I think we'd have just given up.
Oh yeah,
we'd have just given up. We'd have gone, oh no chance, just have a go. Like Stuart Broad, that guy. If there'd have been a couple of days, and he'd have got out there, he'd have just chipped.
Yeah, but he's not a batsman anymore.
No, I know, but
you can't bring Stuart Broad into that.
I don't care. I want to see have a go. Stuart Broad doesn't even have a go.
So what do you think about Stokes 66 off 160 odd balls?
That is like, just for a second, if you play for your country, you cannot just decide you're not going to try. You can't do that. You need to cut that attitude out. You can't have that attitude playing at the highest level, going, "Oh, I'm not a batsman, so I won't try." Like, no. You're playing for your country.
I think
the coach should be, listen, you go out there and bat properly. It is important. That's the problem with the whole team.
Do you think that's a problem with Cook and Stoneman?
No, there are one chance at doing it.
Do you think Root's got an attitude problem?
I want my number 11 having the attitude of if they need to, they can bat for 2 days. I want that attitude. That's what wins you when you don't beat yourself. If you get down to that you got 4 wickets left and a day to bat, and you go, well, doesn't matter. Just try and play a big fancy cover drive and get in the highlights. That's when you get battered. If you go out there and go 4 wickets, we can last a day. 4
Broad
wickets.
did get a not out score though. And can't grumble that.
You don't. Yeah.
You can't. I understand what you're saying. There's nothing worse than seeing a player.
I just want a bit of grit. Around. I prefer grit.
Yeah, and I think
grit can make up for a lot.
Like Collingwood, isn't it?
Yeah. If this team had a good mindset, just like they were never going to be beaten.
Yeah.
Then you can make a good team.
Do you think we should be bringing in little bits of yellow tape and?
I think we should be bringing in Paul Collingwood as the coach.
Well, yeah.
And just be like getting the mindset.
Player coach.
Like, listen, I could never play a proper shot. If you could put into YouTube Paul Collingwood highlights, it's only catches. You will see none of me batting. And I got a 200.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Completely with you there. Though I think this, like you said, shows more bottle than we've seen in the past.
Exactly.
Ben Stokes, on one hand, 66 off 160 balls is fantastic.
Yeah.
and that's a real application.
Yeah.
But
and that's something he's not known for.
an over before the break.
Yeah.
You get bowled a bouncer and you go after it, try and play an uppercut, and you get out. What's going on there? That's a lapse of concentration, isn't it?
But at least he's been out there for 160 balls.
I think with those two breakthroughs, the Root and the Stokes one, obviously they're the top run scorers. But that almost cost England a chance of a way out, a draw. Of course.
You got Bairstow, Mo and Ali, Wokes that should be able to do something.
And Wokes has done something.
They had a go.
Wokes has done something. 52.
They had a go.
You can't argue with Wokes getting 52.
No.
But England lost it in the first innings. They were never good enough to bring it back, even with the weather. I'm not going to grumble too much about that scorecard. I think on a fourth innings, when your back's against the wall, I think that's better than what we have seen in the past.
Yeah. No. And I think because of that, I'm hoping it won't crush us too much for the next test.
Well, I was just going to ask you
just because we've shown a bit of something at the end. Where
do England go from now?
Well, I don't know with the squad they've got. We've done this. So we know what we want them to do. They won't do anything that we want. It will be pretty much the same team. They might change one bowler. They won't change the spinner. They're probably not going to change the batting lineup. So we just got to hope that we're competitive. We're competitive. That's what I want.
It's a 2-match series.
Yeah.
Do you think England can win the next one? Do you think England will win the next one?
Yeah.
Do you think they will?
I don't know anymore. I don't know. It's so hard to... I don't know.
I think a change needs to happen. Honestly.
I think... Do you know what? In the long run, it might do us some good if we lose again. If we lose 2-0. They might force their hand. They might go, we've got to do something now.
There was an interview with Joe Root, and the interviewer said, does this highlight an opportunity for change to win the team? And Joe Root said, we won't just make changes willy-nilly.
So how long and how bad does it have to be before it's not just...
And he says, we all have to think about the changes. And it's just like, what are your meetings like?
Yeah, but it's not complicated. They're not hard to identify where the changes need to be made.
It's just really disappointing. And I'm not even that disappointed with the result, I think we got outplayed and that's fair enough, and we lost it in the first innings. But it's like we're almost setting ourselves up to fail with that team.
I think the worrying thing is that we don't have much of the saying of class, form is temporary, class is permanent. We don't have much class. So it's not like we're waiting for people to come back into form.
No.
Most of these people have never shown form. Class, or massive batches of form.
What I will say is I think we're actually in a worse position. I know we didn't get beaten 5-0 in Australia, and our players showed a bit more. They didn't quite give up. But, in both 2007 and 2012-13, we lost 5-0?
14.
13-14. I think our team's in a worse position than both those times. Even though we've showed a little bit more bottle in Australia, we didn't give up straight away. I actually think our team is in worse condition than those.
Yeah, I also think we're actually... it's going on now, so we're more invested in it. But it's bad. It is bad. What do you think about losing the next one? It might do some good. They might actually have to address... If we win it, then they'll go, it's not so bad, you see. It was just a bad performance. Or if we lose again, they'll go, do you know what? We've got to do something.
There has to be, right, a level of pressure or responsibility for the players, right?
Yes.
Those players that aren't going there and they're not winning games, right?
Yeah.
But then I also think that the team is set up in a way that is poor.
Do you think there's a problem is there's no one knocking on the door? How much pressure for spots are there?
Oh,
I don't know if there is, Not in the batting. We don't have loads of people like queuing up who are in just unbelievable form. Like, how are these guys not getting in the team? We don't have that.
But I don't even know if it's the batting that's a problem.
Well,
they're not making changes to the batting, are they?
They're not making changes to anything, are they?
I think
it might be that. I mean, we don't know the depths of county cricket. That this might be the best team we can pick. We know the spinner can change. That is a definite. We know they can swap the order of these players.
We can bring in a wicketkeeper,
but
we know that.
Yeah, there's two things we know that. Do.
I don't think even the batsman there. I think that actually might be our best batting lineup without a keeper, right?
Yeah.
But if you go back to your question, I think if you said to me, "We'll lose the next test and we'll see changes," I'll bite your hand off.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Do you think that's
No. We're in too deep into this massive ball of bullshit. It's like Arsenal. I feel like this is what an Arsenal fan feels like. We're in deep, right? And now we're just gonna. No one wants to make a change. No one wants to
just ride it out for the next 20 years.
We're just gonna We're a poor team now in Test cricket.
Do we need to be caught cheating and they get rid of everybody?
Listen, I don't want to be caught cheating.
No, that was a joke.
But yeah.
Yeah, should we end it there?
I haven't got anything positive to say.
I like that we showed we showed a bit of grit.
Innings.
I like that.
Yeah, actually, no, you're wrong. You're right, sorry. I'm wrong.
So
second innings, very good. Well done, England.
And I think that means we have a chance of winning the next one.
And also, hats off to to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Not hats off to Australia, cheaters. But hats off to New Zealand. You got a fantastic bowling lineup.
Yeah.
Interested to see a bit more with your spinner because he actually looks a bit nifty.
Yes.
I think you've got some really good batsmen there. I think the batting. I think Kane Williamson's better than Joe Root at this moment in time. I think the batting is almost pretty similar, but your players stood up. New Zealand players stood up that game more than the England players ever did.
They have a better team.
I just think that
we're in a tricky situation. We need to
be positive.
It needs to be addressed.
Well, they're not going to do that.
So anyway, so we're going to be releasing a
Bayliss out,
a podcast,
Root out
on the Aussies on Thursday or Friday is when it will be released.
Well, it won't be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
It's not going to be released on Wednesday. It might be recorded on Wednesday. It won't be released on Wednesday, will it?
Well, I've got work, man.
And then Rainy Day Sunday podcast will be about
already recorded, bro.
It's already done.
So we've got the Cheetaroos. We've got NKP.
When will this go out, mate? When will this one hit the shelves?
On Tuesday. Maybe. The thing is, though, right? There's a worry.
When's this one going to hit the shelves?
If I release it,
something in my back, mate.
I mean,
not going to lie, I had my first net session. This is cricket related.
Oh yeah, I had my first net session.
Shut up. I had my first net session on Thursday, and I've pulled every muscle in my back, and it still hurts. Comment down below if you know what I'm talking about.
So let me just do a little bit of podcast chat with you.
Oh, go on.
I'm live on air.
Nice.
If I release it now, it's 9:30 now.
You're letting him behind the curtain here.
Take me half an hour, 40 minutes, just get everything ready to go onto YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Won't go up till about midnight or 11:30.
Yeah.
I think if I was to release it tomorrow at 7 or 8, it goes into people's subscription boxes at a better time. It means more views, more money.
Chatting absolute nonsense.
Anyway, if you've liked this podcast, hit a like. Make sure you're subscribed. Yeah, and comment down below.
The thumb in it.
We need those comments.
We're close to 150 as well. Another landmark.
Cheetaroos.